So this is nice. You know what's really nice about this group is this is the Public Board of Education, a Catholic Board of Education. Listen to the Catholics. They're always more excited. They have been waiting for one guy to come back for 2,000 years. And the French. Are there some French? Yes, not a lot, but good for you guys. French in Alberta, that's got to be a tough gig right now. I got to be honest, I actually I took French in Ontario in the 1980s, and they weren't really trying. I hope it's better now. We had a thing in Ontario called a French immersion, which they would just hold you underwater till you could speak French. My French teacher, this is not a joke, my French teacher in Toronto, Ontario was named Monsieur Giancarlo Antonio. I don't know if you can tell from where you're sitting, that's not a traditional French name, very Italian, and it was an Italian Catholic, it was a French Catholic school. It was an Italian Catholic. You ever met an Italian man in a Catholic school setting? Can't control himself. Comes in and he's got a button-down shirt, hey? But all the buttons are undone. Except for the very bottom, because he's got a crucifix that you could fit an actual-sized Jesus on. Just a massive, he's so proud of Jesus, and still, you can barely see it through the thicket of chest hair. Have you ever seen an Italian man? They are the genesis of testosterone. It was completely, you couldn't learn anything. It was too mesmerizing. Occasionally you'd get a little glimpse of the crucifix. Jesus in the jungle, I called it. Just peering out at you. Tried to teach us French, did not speak French himself. Tried to teach us how to say, I do not speak French. That was the sentence they tried to teach us first. They wanted to make sure we knew that one first. And I don't know how many language teachers we have here, but for the love of God, don't teach someone how to fluently say they don't know how to speak a language in that language. Do you realize how stupid that is? Fortunately, Monsieur Giancarlo Antonio didn't really know how to say, I do not speak French, but he would try to teach us. He's very confident. Teachers, it's great to be confident, right? You just got to back it up a little bit, right? All right, class. This is his chest hair. All right, class, we're going to learn some French. Repeat after me. Jeannie, Parlus, Pass Francis. Let's do it. Jeannie, Parlus, Pass Francis. You're welcome. Looking around the room, some of you don't even know why that's funny. Social media is now an important part of education, and that's unfortunate. Because a lot of social media is awful. I would like to just pass on an individual tip that I go by for social media. I don't know if you can teach this or transfer the lesson in class. There's a lot of people that like to write think pieces online. To anyone who does that, this is my tip. When you write something, read it. It seems pretty straightforward, but it doesn't seem like it's happening. So when you write something, read it before you send it, and think to yourself, could anyone else that's not in my immediate family or friends care about this? The answer will usually be no, but if you can honestly say to yourself, yes, of course, yes, other people outside of my immediate circle of people that I could just call or talk to in person would care about this, then I want you to ask yourself something else. Read it again. Read it again. And this time, think to yourself, if someone else wrote this, would I care about it? And the answer to that is almost always no. And then remember that to everyone else, you're someone else. I looked at some of the topics that you guys have been covering. A lot of stuff. I don't know how you could attend to all of it. There's so much going on. I guess you got to pick and choose. I really wish I saw the Storm Chaser fella. That's fascinating. It's fascinating to me. It's like someone who keeps going out with their exes. It's like, well, that was a horrible situation. I'm going to try to get back into that. I had so many questions. The reason I am fascinated with teachers, I have a 4-year-old daughter at home, and we've put her into the French program. My wife's French, which is amazing based on my French skills. So she's in the French program, and we want her to learn that. But when you're a comedian, you get proud of things that other people wouldn't about their kids. And I just want to apologize in advance for anyone who teaches a comedian's child. It's not easy. You get proud of different things. My daughter has inherently learned sarcasm, which some people say is the lowest form of humor. Those people are wrong. The lowest form of humor is having no sense of humor. Well-placed sarcasm, that can be funny. So my daughter knows what she's doing with this, and some parents wouldn't like this, but I like it. I like to read to her whenever I travel a lot, so when I can, I read as much as I can to her. My wife will always let me do all the reading. Isn't that nice of her? My wife will let me do all the parenting when I'm home. I don't even know where she goes. She's out smoking with Madame Fraser. So my wife said, Daddy's going to read you 2 books. You go into your room, you pick 2 books to read. Daddy's going to read you those books. So my daughter goes to her room, and then I walk in a few minutes later, and I go, hey, Scarlett, did you pick the 2 books to read? And she looks at her empty hands and goes, do I look like I picked 2 books? I know, never been so proud. And she came back from her first day of French school, and the teacher said, she's got a bit of an attitude. And I thought that was weird, and I said, well, what happened? And she said, I started to speak to her in French, and then she responded in complete gibberish. She just went, and then the teacher said, why are you doing that? And she said, if you're just going to make stuff up, then so am I.